Let's focus on reading comprehension, understanding complex text, inference, tone, and critical analysis, which is very essential for any verbal aptitude exam. Now let us just go through the passage-based questions where we come across inference and main idea. Here I will read each passage carefully and answer the below questions. First passage. Philosophers have long debated the nature of free will. While determinists argue that all actions are governed by preceding causes, libertarians assert that human beings can exercise true choice. Some modern neuroscientists suggest that decisions are made in the brain before conscious awareness, challenging the notion of autonomy. However, others argue that consciousness still plays a role in decision making. So the question related to the above passage is, what is the primary focus of the passage? Sentence A, the impact of neuroscience on philosophy. Option B, the debate over free will and determinism. Option C, how human consciousness evolved. Option D, the role of ethics in decision making. So the correct answer is the debate over free will and determinism, that is option B. Second question, which of the following can be inferred? Option A, neuroscience may undermine traditional views of free will. Option B, consciousness has no role in decision making. Option C, determinism is the dominant perspective in philosophy. Option D, human choices are entirely random. So the best answer is option A. That is, neuroscience may undermine traditional views of free will. Third question, what is the tone of the passage? Option A, is it persuasive? Option B, neutral and analytical. Option C, sarcastic. Option D, emotional. So the correct option is option B, that is neutral and analytical. Let us now go to the second passage. Economic inequality has grown substantially over the past few decades. While some economists argue that this is a natural byproduct of capitalism, others claim that unregulated markets create structural barriers that limit upward mobility. Policies such as progressive taxation and universal education are often proposed as solutions, though their effectiveness remains debated. So the questions related to the above passage are, what is the central theme of the passage? Option A, the inevitability of economic inequality. Option B, different perspectives on economic inequality and possible solutions. Option C, the failure of capitalism. Option D, the role of entrepreneurship in wealth creation. So the correct option is option B, that is different perspectives on economic inequality and possible solutions. The next question related to the above passage, which of the following is a valid inference? Option A, economic policies shape inequality. Option B, inequality cannot be reduced. Option C, capitalism is always harmful. Option D, education has no impact on mobility. The correct answer is option A, that is economic policies shape inequality. Next question, what is the author's attitude towards proposed solutions? Option A, is it dismissive? Option B, skeptical but open-minded. Option C, strongly supportive. Option D, indifferent. The correct answer is option B, that is skeptical but open-minded. Let us now look at the next type of questions, that is advanced inference-based questions. Here you have to read each statement and determine the logical inference. Question, a company that invests heavily in research and development tends to outperform competitors in innovation. The inference, option A, companies that do not invest in R&D fail. Option B, innovation is linked to research investment. Option C, all successful companies invest in R&D. Option D, R&D guarantees market success. So the correct answer is option B, that is innovation is linked to research investment. Next question, literature often reflects societal issues, but it can also shape public opinion. Inference, option A, literature is always politically motivated. Option B, society has no influence on literature. Option C, literature and society influence each other. Option D, public opinion is static. So the correct answer is option C, that is literature and society influence each other. The next set of questions is related to tone and style analysis. Here you have to identify the author's tone in each passage. So the passage question, despite overwhelming evidence, climate change skeptics continue to question scientific findings, favoring misinformation over facts. Options are option A, neutral. Option B, ironic. Option C, objective. Option D, sarcastic. So the correct answer is sarcastic. Next question. The development of artificial intelligence presents both exciting opportunities and ethical dilemmas that society must carefully navigate. Options are option A, optimistic. Option B, cautiously analytical. Option C, alarmist. Option D, indifferent. So the correct choice is option B, that is cautiously analytical. The next set of questions are related to critical analysis. Here you have to identify the strengthening and weakening arguments. You have to determine which statement strengthens or weakens the argument. So the statement is regular exercise improves cognitive function. Which of the following strengthens this argument? Option A, studies show that people who exercise have better memory and focus. Option B, exercise has no impact on intelligence. Option C, some people do not enjoy exercising. Option D, reading books also enhances cognitive skills. The correct answer is option A, that is, studies show that people who exercise have better memory and focus. Next statement, social media reduces meaningful human interaction. Which of the following weakens this argument? Option A, people spend more time online than talking in person. Option B, studies show that social media helps people maintain long distance relationships. Option C, many people report feeling isolated despite social media use. Option D, some people use social media for entertainment only. The correct option is option B, that is, studies show that social media helps people maintain long distance relationships. So how to use these exercises? Firstly, practice 5 to 10 questions daily to improve inference skills. Analyze complex passages and identify tone, bias and argument structure. Read editorials and opinion pieces to strengthen critical reading skills. Use mock tests for time-based comprehension practice. Let us now look at the data interpretation-based reading comprehension exercise, which is designed to strengthen your ability to analyze numerical, graphical and statistical information in any type of passages. First set of questions is related to passage-based questions with data interpretation. You have to read the passage carefully and analyze the accompanying data to answer the questions. Passage 1. Economic growth and employment trends. A country's GDP growth rate has averaged 6% annually over the last 5 years. However, the employment growth rate has lagged behind at 2% per year. The table below shows data from the last 5 years. Year GDP growth, and the next column is employment growth. In 2019 it was 6.2%, employment was 2.5%, 2020 5.8%, 1.9%, 2021 6%, employment rate to 2.2%, 2022 is 6.3, employment rate 2%, 2023 5.7, employment rate was 1.8%. What trend is observed in employment growth over the 5 years? Options are option A, it has increased steadily, option B, it has remained constant, C, it has declined overall, D, it has surpassed GDP growth. The correct option is option C, that is, it has declined overall. Next question, what can be inferred about the relationship between GDP growth and employment growth? Option A, high GDP growth always leads to high employment growth. Option B, there is no clear link between GDP and employment. Option C, employment growth has not kept pace with GDP growth. Option D, employment growth is independent of GDP growth. The correct option is option C, that is, employment growth has not kept pace with the GDP growth. Third question, if the trend continues, what is the possible implication? Options are option A, job creation will decline further. B, employment growth will exceed GDP growth. C, GDP growth will decrease to match employment rates. D, the labor market will become more competitive. The correct option is option A, that is, job creation will decline further. Next passage, market share of smartphone brands 2020 to 2023. A recent study analyzed the market share of 5 leading smartphone brands from 2020 to 2023. So in this table you can find the year, brand A, brand B, C and E. So the table shows the year and their market share in each of the years, that is 2020, 2021, 2022 and 2023. It is very much evident. So based on the above passage, the question is, which brand gained the highest market share between 2020 and 2023? Option A, is it brand A? Option B, brand B? Option C, brand C? And option D, brand D? The correct answer is brand A, that is, which increased from 25% to 32%. Next question, what trend is observed in brand B's market share? Option A, it has increased. B, it has remained the same. C, it has declined continuously. D, it first increased, then declined. The correct answer is option C, that is, it has declined continuously. Next question, if brand C's decline continues at the same rate, what will its market share be in 2024? Options are option A 11%, B 12%, C 10% and D 9%. The correct option is option B, that is projecting the decline from 15% to 13%, a drop of 1% per year suggests it may reach 12%. The next set of questions is related to graph and chart based analysis. Analyze the given data and answer the following questions. The graph is about sales of electric vehicles (EVs) in India between 2020 and 2023. The following graph presents the number of EVs sold in India. Shows the year EV sales in thousands. 2020 it was 50,000, 2021 it was 80,000, 2022 it was 1,20,000, 2023 it was 1,80,000. What is the percentage increase in EV sales from 2020 to 2023? Option A 200%, B 260%, C 300%, D 150%. So the correct option is option B, that is percentage increase is equal to 180 minus 50 divided by 50 into 100 is equal to 260%. If the trend continues, what will be the expected EV sales in 2024? B. Option A 2,20,000, B 2,40,000, C 2,60,000 and D 2,80,000. The correct option is option C. Extrapolating the trend, adding approximately 60,000 to the 2023 figure suggests it's 2,60,000 EV sales. The next set of questions are related to data-based critical reasoning. Here you have to identify the assumption, conclusion or inference from the given data. The statement is, countries with high literacy rates tend to have lower poverty levels. Which of the following assumptions is necessary for this conclusion? Option A, literacy directly reduces poverty. B, economic policies have no effect on poverty. C, education is the only factor in reducing poverty. D, high literacy rates always lead to wealth. The correct option is option A, that is literacy directly reduces poverty. Next statement, a city with high air pollution has experienced a sharp rise in respiratory diseases. What could be concluded? Option A, air pollution causes respiratory diseases. B, other factors do not contribute to respiratory diseases. C, the rise in diseases is directly linked to pollution. D, there is a correlation between pollution and health issues. The correct option is option D, that is, there is a correlation between pollution and health issues. The next set of questions are related to strengthening and weakening data-driven arguments. Here you have to identify which statement strengthens or weakens the argument. Statement, countries with higher GDP per capita tend to have better healthcare. Which statement strengthens this claim? Option A, high-income countries spend more on healthcare infrastructure. B, some high GDP countries lack proper healthcare. C, healthcare funding is not related to GDP. And D, low GDP countries have advanced hospitals. The correct option is option A, that is high-income countries spend more on healthcare infrastructure. The next statement, online learning is as effective as classroom education. Which statement weakens this claim? Option A, research shows students in online courses score lower on average. B, many universities offer online courses. C, online learning is more flexible. And D, some students prefer self-paced learning. The correct option is option A, that is, research shows students in online courses score lower on average. So let us see how to use these exercises. You have to practice interpreting tables, graphs and statistics daily. You have to identify patterns and trends quickly in numerical data. Focus on inference-based and logical reasoning questions in mock exams. You have to stay updated with data-driven editorial articles for real-world examples.